All right. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back.
Y'all. Welcome.
Between Sundays,
Yeah.
we are on episode 55 today.
Wow.
Again, we're a platform where we offer perspectives of the modern church ministry operation and the many nuances therein from the lens of worship, arts, and multimedia personnel. All right, listen, if you don't mind, if you're coming in, please share.
Please.
And then again, if you don't mind, please follow the YouTube or subscribe to the YouTube page, please. All right, YouTube page, Between Sundays hyphen YY7NI. I'm going to try to pin that in the comments today. And again, you put that in the YouTube search and you'll find us. So again, we're back. If you were with us last week, we were doing some good dialogue about a social media post that I had seen recently by a very respected colleague of mine. And I want to read what they wrote again. There's so much more that we can really discuss about what was said here and, you know, the landscape and the dynamics of the topic as it relates to our church today. So here we go. Sorry about that. Putting the YouTube in the chat. See if I can pin that. There we go. All right. So here's a post. It says, have our churches become so production centered that we have alienated our youth from aspiring to be musicians? Back in the day, we couldn't wait till church was over in between services to play on the instruments. But now, crickets. Oh, and wait, we don't even have a lot of afternoon services anymore unless that's our main service. And one of the things that we dialogued about last week toward the end of our episode was that the landscape, again, is different. When I say landscape, meaning how musicians, when they were younger, years ago, developed. The way that they developed.
Yeah.
It does not look the same as it does today.
Right. Most
The
definitely.
landscape is different. So, Jay, I would like to pick up today
Yeah.
with getting into, okay, what's different?
Yeah, for sure, man.
You want to start us off?
Yeah.
Man?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first thing is, man, like when you talk about, 80s and 90s, and I would even say early 2000s, it was different because the motive was different with a lot of musicians, man. Like, we were hungry. We wasn't hungry for pay. We wasn't hungry for clout. We were hungry for the knowledge, and the appetite was really for just to get on. It was really just to learn more. A lot of what, I don't know if you remember those days when you used to sit home and practice.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even though we practice now, but it wasn't like when we were younger, man. It wasn't like when you had no bills, not kids, and all you did all day was sit in front of the keyboard, or you were able to go to the church during the day and actually just play all day long, man. Like, you were literally practicing key by key, line by line. That's all you did, and you learned so much because you put the work in. And when you went somewhere, people noticed that you practiced, man. And churches, because of testimony services, man, those were those services that raised us, man. Those were those services that guided us, and it was a teaching ground. It was you were able to be free, man. You were able to do a lot more. And it wasn't as structured as praise and worship is now. It was testimony service. So you didn't know what they were going to sing. You had to listen. You had to be on key. If you didn't know the song, you had to keep listening until you knew the song and until you found out what they were singing and tried to follow. And if you couldn't follow, you waited till the next song. You know, but it was just like, and then let me say this. A lot of the training was different because people didn't get offended so easily. You know, like
just had to go there, didn't you? As you would tell me, stepping in the lion's mouth.
Already, man. Already. We didn't even get 5 minutes in. You know, and the musicians, they didn't get offended because they knew that even if you was saying it, you know, to be, you know, messed up about it, we didn't care. We wanted it that bad. And we use it as motivation.
Yeah.
But nowadays, man, you say something to musician, especially the younger cats nowadays, they want to quit. They want to give up on the church. They want to give up on the church that you're at, you know, and it's just like you tell them, hey, listen, you're off key. What? Yeah, listen to you in the playback. You're off key. And a lot of times, man, you know, the mindset is I can do whatever I want to do. I don't need you to tell me anything. Our mindsets back in the day wasn't like that, man. And because we were hungry to learn, that's exactly what we did. And I always said, today's musician, like us, it's a dying breed, not because of ability, but because of the respect that we had for the craft.
Yes, sir.
We didn't take it lightly, man. Like, you know, it was a different time and a different set for us because we loved to do it and we did it for free many a day. We did it for free. There wasn't no, can you pay me for this? We did it for cake and juice. A slice of grandma's pie, a slice of that fruit punch. I mean, a cup of that fruit punch. We did it for some chicken sandwiches, and we played our tails off for that because we loved it so much, man. But the love, I'm not gonna say the love has gone. I just think the motive behind it is different today.
All right, so let's talk about that aspect. Let's talk about that aspect of, you know, let's say the love for the craft, you know, the love for music, the chase for actually developing on your instrument, developing to be effective in the service. So I'm asking myself, well, why is that seem to be so different nowadays? That's what I'm asking myself. And here's where I arrive at. Where I arrive at is somewhat oversaturation. What do I mean? Well, when we came up, there was no tutorials.
That part, yeah.
This was before YouTube.
Yep.
This was even in the day where, even if you were someone who reads music, it was difficult to get your hands on the sheet music. For example, for Hawkins music, for Whitfield music, that was difficult, if not non-existent, to get your hands on the sheet music for these songs. So, in essence, if we wanted to learn the music, we had only one path. We had only one path.
Only one, brother.
Had only one path. The path was the lab.
Yep.
That's it. That was the only path.
That's it. Yeah.
You unless you had access to someone who was well advanced, that, and not only would they have been well advanced, they would have to have a lot of time to sit down and teach you chord for chord.
Yep.
Now, I'm not going to speak for you here.
Mm-hmm.
That was not my story.
No, mine either.
I didn't have access to someone. Well, let me not say it that way. I had access to individuals who were very skilled. Didn't have the time to sit down and show me chord for chord.
Yep.
They didn't have the time, because if they were that skilled, they were in high demand.
Yep.
So there was no way they had the time to sit, even if they wanted to.
Right. They just couldn't do it.
They couldn't do it. So again, for those of us who really wanted to learn the music, wanted to understand better how to carry a service, how to move a service, what to do in certain spots, how to back up a preacher.
Right.
We had no, like, if we weren't hungry, then we wouldn't have gotten the information.
Yeah.
We would not have achieved learning the techniques if we weren't hungry.
Yeah.
Because again, there was only one path.
Yeah. And either you wanted or you didn't.
So let me go back to my original statement of oversaturation. Now, because of access, which is not bad, it's not bad that we have more information at our tips, at our fingertips. That's not a bad thing. But for many, I believe it has contributed to, the word I want to use is a complacency.
Yeah, almost like a crutch.
Yes, that has contributed to that, where, again, because we have the access, because there's these wonderful YouTube channels, that, or even websites that are breaking down all these songs, and they're doing it in slow motion, spelling out every note of the chord.
Wow.
That, I think that just by default affects the hunger for many.
Yeah.
Not for all, but for many, because it's much easier to attain. And there's a lot less blood, sweat, and tears you gotta spend. Can I tell a story?
Yeah.
And I'm coming back to, want to keep bouncing this idea of why it seems like the love and hunger is so different.
Yeah, I got you.
So this is recent. This is not even in my developmental years. I'm going back to when I started, where I was. I can remember one of the sets for the praise and worship period, one of the songs for praise and worship one week was the song Best Days of My Life, Ricky Dillard version.
Yeah.
Right? And so now, Ricky wasn't the first to record it, but his version has a very elaborate intro.
Yep.
And then the tagline of the song. If you're not someone that's naturally a speed guy, it can take some time to get under your fingers.
Most definitely.
So, got the song list on Sunday night. Rehearsals Wednesday night. And at the time, I'm still working during the day. So, obviously, listened Sunday, all day Monday. Started messing with it Monday night.
Okay.
That intro is something crazy.
Oh, yeah.
The intro and the outro
is
something crazy.
Yeah.
So now we get to Tuesday, and yeah, I have the notes, but the execution is still sloppy.
Yeah.
And I'm in the lab till 3 a.m. Why am I in the lab till 3 a.m? Because I knew I wouldn't have any time on Wednesday. I had work Wednesday. straight from work to rehearsal.
Yeah.
So I said, if I don't have it before I close my eyes Tuesday night, I'm not gonna walk into rehearsal ready to do it.
Right.
So till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Till I felt comfortable.
That's the midnight oil.
The midnight oil. But again, now, could I may have found it on YouTube? Yeah, but that wasn't gonna help me with the fingering.
Exactly.
That wasn't gonna, so that's why I didn't even look for that reason, and for the reason that I came up before YouTube. So I came up where my mind is like, I got one path to get this, and it's to grind it out.
Yeah.
That's the only path I got.
Yeah.
And if that take till 3 a.m, even though I got to be up at 8 to be to work at 10 a.m, so be it.
So be it. Yep.
So be it.
Yep.
But that again, because for us that was our only path.
Yeah.
Then now our hunger never diminishes, even though we have access to tutorials and things of that nature. Again, wonderful YouTube channel. I'm not even going to get into naming the outlets, but it's a whole lot of great outlets.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for us,
yeah,
even for some of this generation that I've come across, the access does not diminish their hunger.
Yeah, man.
Coming back to you, bro.
I remember when cassette tapes,
and Walkman,
bruh. I used to play John P. Key, Wash Me. The Wash Me album. Remember that, Pels? The Wash Me album? Man, that joint, man. And then I remember learning when James Hall first came out, the song Caught Up.
Another interesting intro, but that's James Hall. He always gonna give you an interesting intro.
Oh my gosh.
Always.
And it was the first time I heard it because he was brand new. And so my mom came to me and said, we're doing this, because remember when they had choir anniversaries? They don't really do that too much no more.
No.
But, my mom said, we're doing this for choir anniversaries. We're walking down the aisle on this song. So I'm like, all right. So I said, let me listen to it. And, dun, 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 dun.
Yep.
Oh, what is this?
Yep.
Oh, man.
We didn't get to when they start singing yet.
I remember.
We didn't get to Holy You Must Be Holy. We didn't get there yet.
I'm still on the intro. I'm reminding the tape back. Like, dog, what am I listening to? I have no idea. There's nobody I can call. There's no YouTube. We're not even in that computer stage, cell phone stage.
Nope.
Nowhere around. You got a tape player and your fingers. If you don't get it now, you ain't gonna get it.
That part.
I sat there for over 4 hours with that one intro, trying to
not
get
the song.
Not the song. No,
not
no,
the
no,
song.
no, no, not the song.
Intro.
Just the intro, trying to get whatever John Peters was playing.
Yeah.
Him and Mel. What are y'all doing in there, man?
And for context of someone listening, because I want you to get back to your point.
Yeah.
For context of someone who's listening who may not be either one, maybe you're not a musician, maybe you're a singer, or maybe you're a musician, but you're not, a keys player, organ player. All right. So the intro starts in what looks like one key. Then when you get out of the intro, that looks like a totally different key.
Yep.
Right? Then the end of the song is a totally different key. When they finally get to I Want to Be Caught Up.
Yep.
That's
different key.
And that was not common in gospel music. You really wasn't going to get a lot of that with Hawkins, with Cleveland, with Mississippi Mass, with small. You wasn't going to get that type of key movement.
Yep.
Where an intro starts E flat major, then you go into C minor. Then you got a middle part back in E flat major, back to C minor, and then the end's going F sharp.
Oh yeah. And not only that, imagine learning it and having to play it in rehearsal with a choir that is just learning it. Now they have to get these notes.
Oh yeah.
And you are playing the song and it's like you're watching it and you're like, whoa.
Yep.
The stuff that he thought at that time, James, like, bruh, what were you thinking with this music?
Mm-hmm.
Totally, I mean, amazing orchestration, amazing arrangements.
Yeah.
And so these were the type of songs that it was just like, it would just blow our minds, man.
Quick shout out to Uncle Melvin Crispell, rest in peace. This was actually a song that he wrote.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. This one was one of his. I think James Hall did like vocal arrangements, but like the lyrics and the musical arrangement, this was Uncle Melvin Crispell.
Right. And see, Thomas Whitfield was always one that we would learn off privately. Mm-hmm. He wasn't really sung openly like that, like Hez or, John P. Key.
Yep.
Thomas was one of those cats where if you heard some of his music from a choir, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, because every church choir couldn't sing.
Exactly. He was one of those cats you really didn't hear.
Even when you think about a simple song, simple staple as I Shall Wear a Crown.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of church choirs who can really do that justice.
And then
no
that
shade,
ending.
But
And then that ending.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people and choirs don't know how that ending really goes.
Nope.
And they play it wrong every single time. Mm-hmm. And you're like, that's not the way it go. But, people just like, okay, well, we sing it the way we sing it. No, you're singing it wrong. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And this is the time when Kurt Carr would come out with "We Lift Our Hands in the Sanctuary." Very, very simple song. You know what I'm saying? Then you had what's his face? Orlando Draper. I Got a Reason. Mm-hmm. These songs, man, it's just like the way these folks thought, and then shout out to Willis.
Yeah.
Wilmington Chester and them, man. Those guys used to get hits all the time, man. Absolutely. And the music that him, Brian, and Howard would do with those hits, and you had to learn them.
Yeah.
When I first heard Hosanna, I was like, yo, man.
If y'all notice something that you're saying, it was a culture, right? So a term that we've abused now since COVID is creatives, right? Mm-hmm. When you think about creatives, when you think of how the James Hall that has his few others, like New York had a culture, right? Yep. There was a New York style, like most of us Hammond guys, there's a certain style that when you jump on a Hammond, your style was identified.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Whether it was West Coast, Chicago,
New York,
Philly, New York, you know what I'm saying? Down south of some whatever.
Yeah.
And then there was and I'm looking at what Ben said in the comment section, and I remember that, there were those who would record the unique people, and then something like what Jay said, there was that whole culture of accurately interpreting what was written. So like a lot of our songs was like the gospel being recorded, right? Yeah. And then it's how can you properly exegete the song, right? Or, what's your exegesis like on scripture, like, or your apologetics to, that's not how it's supposed to go.
Right. Yeah.
We were doing that with music as well. The other thing was like what Jay's saying and Darian, what we're talking about, that culture of after church, iron sharpening iron. Here's the thing I would argue. As evolvement happened, we got lazier and lazier, right? And the creatives are still creating to an extent, but then they're tainted with, am I creating for, my inner culture, or am I doing it for the cash?
Yeah.
Right? And then if the money ain't coming with the creativity, then I'm kind of like in a funk, right? And so it kind of slows down. Then there's also choirs, right? Choirs done changed up because it's like, wait a minute, if I come out of this soprano section and hook up with that alto from that other alto section, hook up with that tenor, and we all become worship leaders, we can get the bag. So now you start to lose choir, right? And most of your choir is made up of people that either got consistent jobs, right?
Yeah.
They just got to get up, go to work tomorrow.
Right.
That's it. They not getting up trying to find out where they going to sing. So they got time for it, and they sing for the love of Christ. And so we have a lot of recordings. If you notice what we're doing now, we keep talking about the old school songs, and it happens in almost every culture. Because even in rap, it's kind of like, they don't even really be rapping about nothing now. Like everybody got money, and then it gets to the point where some people rapping, they do have the money. Right before we was rapping about money we ain't have.
Yeah.
Some people do have the money, and that's boring to some people. So it's like all of this stuff done shifted and changed. And what does that do for the culture? It is back to this original point, a production-driven thing that we're doing, and the creativity now has to find a new lane, right? It has to find a new love and a new lane. So that's when you get some of these recordings, like that place that they rent out. I don't know what state it's in, but they rent out this church hall. It's like an event center, and they do like ciphers or whatever.
Okay.
And they sing and they bring musicians and they record it. I think that's the wave of the next, right? Especially with what just happened recently with Maverick City and other things going on.
Yeah.
People are going to kind of get back into a cultivated state and sit down and shed and put out meaningful stuff. I think it's coming though.
Yeah.
I think it's coming.
And that's the thing, man. It's, it's a new day. It's hard to go back to what we're used to because technology has advanced.
Yeah.
Like so much, man. And one of those, one of the things when you was talking about crutch, if somebody just gives you a piece of food, you'll eat for that day. But if they don't show you where to get it, you'll always depend on them.
Yes, sir.
And I remember, when trying to learn these songs, man, it would be different today trying to learn them and just going to YouTube. Well, how do you play one of Thomas Whitfield's songs?
Right.
Okay, yeah, they'll take me right there where I want to go. However, finding it on my own, I'll find other chords and other ways to get there that I didn't know. I'm like, hold up, where's that chord? Hold up, I can use that somewhere else. And that's where a lot of our style came from, the search. My Lord.
I wish we had time, Jay. Keep going.
Yeah.
Man, a lot of what we needed that we didn't know we needed until it was time to present it. A lot of us played in keys that were uncomfortable because we had no choice. Nobody showed us and said, you play this key. You found out on your own what works and what doesn't. And so as you grew, you have learned now to cultivate how to play in A, how to cultivate how to play in D, and those changes that you may not be familiar with, to the point where nobody knows, to the untrained ear, that you don't know what it is.
Hey, wait, can I ask you a question? Can y'all think of a couple of songs maybe? It's a hard one now to think of, but think of some songs where the matter of fact, there's a podcast that was on and they were talking about I don't know if they were playing Do Me Baby, or there was one of the songs they were playing, and Tank was pointing out how cringing it is to the perfectionist that the note is so off.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the kudos is when they do it. It was a Bell Biv DeVoe joint.
I remember.
And it's like, most bands, when they play it the right way, and the right way is technically the wrong way.
Right.
Right. So some of these arguments that people have, like, oh, y'all don't do that song the right way, is almost because of ignorance and uniqueness that somebody hit a note a certain way, and to play it that way that's not by the book or taught from a skill set, right?
Yeah.
There's the kudos in that, but again, they're creative, right? John P. Key is a great player, but you don't stand around John like you stand around Stephen Ford.
Correct.
Right. But John got how many songs in the atmosphere? How many classics? Hezekiah Walker's not the most skilled vocalist, but how many songs do we sing that has sing? Kurt is not a bona fide vocalist, neither is Ty. But how many songs do we sing there?
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you sing a Ty song, you just point the note. You just point it. Whether you get there or not, you point it, as long as you got the feel with it, we got you.
Yep.
We understand you. And so we grew up on the culture. And then on the other side of the spectrum, there is, I love how Jay brought up Thomas Whitfield's one of my favorites, man. It's like, dude, but as a pianist, he was a freaking genius.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, take gospel out of it for a second. He was just a genius sitting down.
Yes, sir.
Like the notes and stuff. So there's a generation that's like Doobie Powell. Woo! There's another generation that's like Thomas Whitfield. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And everybody like, whoa.
Yeah, whoa.
Jay, what you brought up in terms of when you're in the lab, learning the stuff on your own instead of going to YouTube, instead of going to that piece of food somebody gave you.
Yeah.
I would submit that, and this is for any instrument, part of grinding music out, being in the lab, is you start to get a better understanding for sonics.
Yes.
You start to get a much better understanding for sonics. True. And like you said, getting different places different ways because you understand the sonics. And when you understand the sonics, you know how to break the rules a bit. And as Glenn Gibson would say, listen, you're supposed to leave home, but know how you're getting back. Yeah. And his point was, you can improv in a totally different key, long as you know how to get back.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And we said it before, man. There is no progress without failure first. If somebody just tells you what to do, you'll do it.
Yeah.
But you won't understand how you got there.
That part.
And if you don't understand how you got there, you know, it's really, you'll start playing by skill and not the heart. And when you talk about people like Thomas Whitfield that was playing from the heart and skill.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't just skill. Like when Pels was talking about those cats that played those songs back in the day. Back in the day, man, a lot of those guys were high, man. A lot of those guys were truly high. And they didn't play by skill. They played from the heart. They played what they felt. Exactly. So when a lot of those situations, by the feel. So it was the vibe.
Well, think about this. They were skilled players in their own right, played by feel, and I'm just steering this in the direction of the way or the reason why things were created. If you watch churches now, like our controlling question or like thought that Darren brought up at the beginning from that statement, here's what's interesting. We are now seeing in a production set, we take music in rather than build from inside to push out. Right? And the sad reality was the last run of that just kind of got into a funk was not the start of it, but for an example, an elevation worship. That was an internal, right? Kind of like an internal Stephen Furtick crew that pushed out. The problem is the popularity in it was like, hey, see what they did? Yeah. Let's try that. So then what happens is everybody's trying to get out, and from outside, they're pushing the stuff in. The stuff that we were pulling in our churches was from a church that had it on the inside. So we were getting church songs from church people. Yeah. Right? Now we getting church songs from churchy people, but not people that are technically in church. Yeah. Right? Yeah. People that are based in church for the most part. I mean, if you can't make it an R&B, just throw Jesus in your song and you might have a winner. Really think about it. You know what I'm saying? If you can't get on the road with a major artist, you can learn a couple of YouTube church songs and there's a church to go to. Look at that. That's a whole nother thing. See, you could be the most skilled worldly musician. You can know jazz, classical, all that. You wasn't just walking into a regular Baptist or Kojic church and smashing. Right. Because you had to know the culture, the feel, the whole nine. You don't need that right now. If you really think about it, you don't need it. If you can play on the road as a band and you have the ability to listen to a YouTube, study it, learn it, you pretty much can get by at most churches today.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the stuff we talked about way before, the money, the numbers, the integrity, all of that, because it's not driven. I'm pretty sure a Thomas Whitfield is not making lift those hands and bless them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's just like, let me just make a song.
Mm-hmm.
That thing has some church services in it. It has some healing, some prayers.
Yep.
That has some altar calls in it.
Absolutely.
That thing was built off of Tarian.
Mm-hmm.
That was built off of some early. That was built off a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what, even after the rain. After the rain.
Mm-hmm. That one.
Them, and that involves that classical stuff in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that them songs make you cry, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You know, and one of the, I remember one of the first videos I was so hyped to get on VHS was when I think it was Wheats came out with ShowMeThat.com.
Yeah, Sebastian Wheatworks.
Yeah, Wheatworks or something. He had a video, but it was on VHS at the first time.
He was one of the first guys doing tutorial or having musicians do tutorials.
And that's the first time we was like, yo, what's this? You mean to tell me I can listen to this and they'll show me what to do?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was unheard of, man. Like anybody doing it to that level.
Yeah, he was an innovator in that space, in the tutorial space.
Yeah.
That a lot of that, particularly for gospel music,
Mm-hmm.
Sebastian he was the innovator there.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was the innovator.
Wow.
Let me shout out some watchers, because Jay, I need to come back to something.
Yeah,
I need to come back to the money aspect
Yeah.
that you mentioned when you first started talking.
Mm-hmm.
But let me shout out some watchers. See, we got Mr. K. Hill in the house.
34-17. Jesus Christ. Sorry, go ahead.
Cheryl Spinner Vaughn, Ben Presley, First Corinthian Nicole, LB Much is Sin. Thank you all for tuning in. So, Jay, you talked about, and when you first hit this topic today, you talked about times where we didn't, we weren't looking for compensation.
Mm-hmm.
We would play for free. We play for, punch and cake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Mrs. Brister in the house. Now,
Grandma B.
Here's what I think is interesting. What I think is interesting is that probably one too many churches were handing out an envelope to musicians who had not demonstrated that they really love their craft and they actually put time in the lab.
Mm. Wow. Wow. Oh, wow.
Because you did not say that in terms of trying to position we should play for free.
Right.
No, this was just kind of historical context of our development.
For sure.
And watch this. Because while we were developing, we were not looking for the dollar. While we were developing, now that we have developed, we're worthy of the dollar.
Exactly.
Key is now that we are developed. But I think, again, one too many churches. Because of what? Because of the need.
Yeah.
Or because of the perceived need.
Right.
They start handing out envelopes to musicians who have not demonstrated that they actually love their craft and put time into their craft.
Bruh.
Talk to me.
That part is so interesting because so many times, man, and I think that is what made Monsters You know, it's so interesting, man, because that's what creates the monster inside of when you feed that monster and just like, okay, you haven't worked for it, but you'll get this. You haven't worked for it. This is what creates the entitlement that we see. And then the problem with that, everybody gets blamed.
Mm-hmm.
So now 2 musicians have now become 10. All 10 of y'all. It don't even matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know 2 of y'all only act like that, but because you with them, guilty by association. Now it's you are guilty until proven innocent. Now you have to prove your worth. Now your skill don't matter. Now your heart don't matter. You have to prove to us that you're worthy of what you're asking for. See, we grew up in a time, man, where it was play because God blessed you. Play from your heart. God had the increase. And we always went by that. On the other side, people took advantage. So when people take advantage, it makes you now think that everybody's like that. Now we're looking at them and they're looking at us. And now you have a clash. And so now you don't know who's right and who's wrong. Guess what? This is what created the monster, bro. And we have, all of us as musicians have in some way, especially if you're getting some money, have in some way demonstrated some sort of skill to receive some kind of pay.
Yeah.
Even if it's a little bit, even if you only play in one key.
Yeah.
Now that's accepted. No, seriously.
Yeah. No, you're right.
That's accepted now.
Yep.
Why? Because like you said, the need is there. We're willing to give you this. Even though you only play in one key. We're not going to tell you, no, go back to the lab. Matter of fact, we don't care if you use YouTube. We don't care if you use VHS. Go back to the lab and work.
We'll do what you know.
And there we are. We'll do what you know. No.
We will sing what you know.
Bruh, that is the biggest crock. No, that is so not what it's supposed to be, man. That's a crutch. That is an excuse. No, we'll sing what you know. That is an excuse. And when churches do that, you feed that monster. With me, you grow up, they didn't feed that monster, man. If you couldn't play, musicians will let you know you can't play. Go practice. Matter of fact, they didn't even let you know they go play pedals. They pushed you off. They pushed you off the instrument. Simple as that. They didn't care whether you got mad. You want to fight? Meet us outside. They pushed you off the instrument, but you got yourself together.
Maybe about, I want to say maybe about 8 or 9 years ago, I submitted a video audition to be a part of what was going to be a potential, basically like a potential talk show, right? The music producer had said, listen, bro, this could be a good opportunity. Just submit the video. All right. Now, if I'm honest, I wasn't all that interested, but because of my relationship with the producer, I said, okay, maybe this is a door. So submitted the video. So after I submitted the video, the music producer had emailed me back. This is what he said. He said, hey man, thanks so much for submitting your video. I love your touch. I love your approach. Unfortunately, I'm looking for some musicians that have a little more range. But nonetheless, I appreciate you submitting the video. Wish you the best of luck in all of your endeavors.
Wow. 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 That's necessary. That's necessary. And you know what's crazy, man? I remember, Pels, this is for you, man. I remember when trying out for Music Soul Child. Auditioning for him back in the early 2000s. Man, this is when the 5 spot was still, and I auditioned at one of his studios on Delaware Ave. That's when he was recording over there somewhere. And I was playing the song. He wasn't there. I was playing the song, one of his cuts. This is how you have to learn about when to hold them and when to fold them.
Right.
I'm playing the song, Pals, but I'm playing it as Jay the Church.
Okay.
The church musician. I'm doing what I usually would do in a church setting. Why? Because the chords are real simple. So I did it my way.
Yep.
Okay.
And you know what they told me? They was like, yeah, you nice, but that ain't what we need. That ain't what the track does.
Yeah.
Right.
This is what it does. This, bam.
Yep.
And bam.
Overinterpretation.
Overinterpretation, because I was trying to do what I wanted to do in another setting. I was totally out of order. And they told me straight to my, they were like, you nice. However, we're going to go with the guy over here, though, because he plays the record.
So why are we bringing these stories up? Because ultimately what we're asking, particularly when compensation comes up, ultimately what we're asking is, church, what is the standard?
Yeah.
What is the standard? Or is the need the standard?
Right. But not only that, musicians, how hungry are you to learn the process? And that's of anything. When you hear the song Pels did, just got dun 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 dun, ain't that it, Pels? Dun 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 dun.
Which one?
They say I'm crazy.
That's love.
Oh yeah, it's love.
It's love. I'm sorry.
It's love. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You hear that, John? It's the same chord structure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Over
Doesn't
and
change.
over. It doesn't change. Ain't
Doesn't
nobody.
change.
There's nobody hitting these crazy chords. Ain't nobody trying to.
No.
I heard
No
some,
diminishes,
I heard some
no-
good playovers. I've heard some crazy.
Oh
jokes.
yeah, cats.
I was
Man.
like, damn, you did what? Woo.
Right. And you got cats that'll do it all. But as soon as you get in on tour or you get in that studio, they want what's on the record.
Yeah.
And are you able to? And like Pel said, even if the chord is wrong, that's what they're used to hearing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that ain't the chord. I can play it like this. They don't want that. Did you study? This is the chord I want because this is the chord that was recorded by the musician that played it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to say even on the day. Are you worth even the study, man? If you're not even going to study, it don't matter what type of music you're playing.
Yeah.
If you're not worthy of even studying, you're not worthy of the pay. You're asking for the increase without process.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
And what happens is you get yourself out on the limb with no foundation.
Right.
And then people like us have to come. Yeah. Matter of fact,
Go ahead, man.
We
out here.
You ever played along with somebody and you were carrying them? Pals, I know you know what I'm saying. You ever played along with somebody?
Yeah, people carried me.
Right,
Because
right.
like, I don't know what the hell y'all playing.
Right. And it's just like, and the thing is, and you know, if you stop playing, the whole thing will fall.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The whole thing will drop like a bucket. But you're carrying it for the sake of everybody in the band.
Absolutely.
because it's not about the money.
Mm-hmm.
You're in this, so you want to look right too.
Yeah.
So you carry it.
Yep.
You have a standard.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll hold up the standard even if it makes you look like Superman.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because you'll sit there and you'll make sure everything sounds good because your name is on it, your face is on it, and there is people looking at you, making sure that you do what you're supposed to. So you'll hold up everything with one arm.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir. So let's go in this direction as we kind of bring this to a close.
Yeah.
But let's go in this direction. All right. So when we talk about we're really having good dialogue about the difference in the development environment.
Mm-hmm.
So now, here's what we can't do. We can't, for this generation, we can't erase YouTube.
Right.
We can't erase the outlets that give you tutorials.
Mm-hmm.
We can't.
Right.
And to be honest, we don't want to.
No. It's still good.
So, since we can't do that, what I guess catapults the now generation musician to be more hungry, to be more willing to grind out their craft in the lab, even though they got so much access to shortcuts?
Well, honestly, I think it's just being versatile, man. For real. If any musician that wants to be at their best, you have to be versatile, man. And you're listening, not just playing. Anything you listen to will get in your spirit sooner or later.
Yeah.
Whether it's negative thoughts or positive thoughts, it will get in your spirit. Some of the craziest intros I've learned were learned more by me listening to them subconsciously. And then when I got on the keyboard, it was easier to break it down.
Yeah.
Rather than cold doing it cold, I call it.
Yeah.
Just hearing the intro and just sitting at the keyboard and trying to figure it out yourself. That's cool. It just take a little longer.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, subconsciously, you listen to it in the car.
Yeah.
Listen to it in the shower. Listen to it while you're cooking. Listen to it while you with your kids, doing something. When you listen to it subconsciously, it starts to get in your mind. It starts to get in your spirit. It starts to get in your psyche.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you've played it, and now you can't get it out your mind. It's in there. And so now you're able to sit at the keyboard and say, okay, this is what happened. This is what happened. Because I remember this is what happened. This is what happened. And you're able to figure it out in 15 minutes rather than 4 hours. Because you took time to process everything and not crunch. Yes, we've crunched many days. I don't prescribe that.
Absolutely. Same here. Same here.
If you get the music in enough time, do your best
to
do what you got to do and just, put the time and do due diligence. But if you got to crunch, the best way for those that like, well, how you crunch music, you got to learn the next day. Listen.
Hey, you know what's interesting?
Talk to me,
I'm listening to y'all. Do y'all know, like, in today's conversation, it's like a big cool thing when musicians get out of church or members get out of church and they go, yo, we church today. It's like you were at church. What are you doing on the other Sundays?
Right.
Notice the language.
Yeah.
It goes into that controlling
right.
topic. We do production every Sunday. And today we went off of production or in production. We felt it and moved with the flow of the spirit that we say the spirit is there every time we gather.
Yeah.
That's relative, because if that's the case, then everything is not production. I'm not arguing structure, but the structure is production.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's not much room for creativity when you stick into the script. When you really think about it, there's not. back in the day, we had room for creativity. There was like, oh, she feeling it. Let her go a little bit more.
Yeah.
The organ is feeling it. Let him go a little bit more. We're creating something here. Y'all see that part we did there? Everybody on the same page. Yo, remember the second song when Darian did that chord? Do that again. It's a whole jam session after church. That's when you discover Sister So-and-so daughter can actually sing. That's when you discover, I think that boy got rhythm. Yo, play that cowbell for a little minute.
Yeah.
That's our next drummer over there. You was able to discover that. I'm telling you, the way I see stuff now, you don't have space for that now. Right? Yep. You don't have space for it. And if one person is willing, here's the reality. They walk out the door and find somewhere else to do it. And then the probability that everybody's going to meet up and then a facility, we're cooked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not, it ain't the same. So things are different now. And like you were saying, the two of y'all were saying, that whole grind space and that, that hunger, it's almost like the hunger for what? Because the pinnacle is into production. So what are we watching every week? We're watching production. And production is teaching us to stay here. Like Pocket went over. There was a need to be in the pocket. And I call that the Gerald Haywards of the day. I call that the John Roberts, the Bryans and all that. Yo, give me that pocket. But then Pocket transformed into another pocket of stiffness. Yeah. And we don't have that development space. The people that are, they're out for that bag. Right. Right, they're out for the bag. They're creating in the space of, what's the next stage I can get on? This is how much it costs for me to go here. And we cannot ignore, again, the success and failures of the Maverick Cities and stuff. When people look at Kurt, I don't care how much the reason why I sing and rain down on me, Kurt is big. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Ty, I don't care how much we like Ty from Jersey. Ty's down in Florida eating. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many GAs that's still trying to be GA yesterday and trying to figure out everything new now. Yeah. There's so many people still trying to be Kurt and the family yesterday and they trying to figure out the Kurt now. And they're missing it. Yeah. They're missing it. But again, I don't blame as much on musicians as I do the fear in leaders to start that. And churches to create that atmosphere. Yeah. And again, exposure has its consequences because even the small churches now, they look at what YouTube is doing. Yeah. The production that they see and they say, that's where we got to get to. And at that point, the would-be next musician, they're never good enough.
So we gotta dig in this production aspect next week. Yeah. We gotta dig in this production aspect. I want to say this real quick, but then I want to come back to I think a closing point to the direction we were heading today. But when it comes to the production piece, and particularly what you said, Pels, about where is the space? Yeah. Where's the creative space in the service? And I agree with you. Let me echo your sentiments about leadership, because this is where whomever, no matter what scale your church is, whomever is responsible for the flow of the service, whomever that is, smaller churches, it may be the pastor, maybe your medium-sized churches, there's a minister that kind of leads worship. Maybe in some of the large, medium, or large, it's a praise and worship person, or in the mega, it is a worship pastor. That falls on them. Yeah. Whomever is responsible for the flow, that is on them. That is on them, and obviously we know sometimes the person who gets put in that space doesn't have the skill for that space. Right. But for those who do have the skill for that space, that falls on you. And here is an easy example, in my opinion, of how you can create space for creativity, particularly musically. The easiest way I would tell you to do is, if your flow is structured in terms of number of songs, change that to time.
Yeah.
Why do I say that? Because if, let's just say, for instance, in your service, there's a structure where, or the flow is, maybe there's 2 songs allotted before pastor gets up. 1 or 2 songs before pastor preaches. Instead of looking at that as number of songs, give it a time stamp.
Yeah.
Why? Let me explain this to those who are not maybe not musically inclined, but you may be a pastor, you may be in leadership in church, you may be a minister.
Help them, bro.
Songs limit me. A number of songs limits me to a number of songs. But a time frame, if you give me 10 minutes, well, in most people's mind, 10 minutes is roughly 2 songs. In the musical person's mind, 10 minutes is 10 minutes. I can do 4 songs in 10 minutes.
You sure can. 4 good ones.
It doesn't have to be 2.
Right.
But the problem with 2 songs is that as soon as you hear me go from first song to second song, in your mind as the pastor, as the minister, as soon as it sounds like I'm finished that second song, I'm done. You looking to get up.
Right. You ain't done yet.
And there's no space, there's no creative space. Because you are waiting for the end of that second song, or what sounds like the end of that second song.
Yep.
So you've taken a space from me to be creative, to be organic, to really engage the congregation in the pew.
Yeah. To
where maybe I started with, let's just say, he's able. If, for instance, if I only got 1 song, right? So I start with he's able. And as whoever's leading it, maybe they see that, it's missing a good chunk of the crowd. Well, the time frame would give me the ability to maybe shift he's able to something maybe a little more traditional,
right,
but with a similar texture.
Right. That's right.
I may be able to shift that to "Oh, How I Love Jesus."
Right.
But if I'm handcuffed to 1 song, how can I shift it?
Right. And I totally understand. That's wow.
So that's an easy way to create space and not necessarily, add a whole bunch of extra time to the service. It just allot your music people a set amount of time and watch what they can do with the time that you give them.
Yeah, because you could do a medley of about 4 or 5 songs in 10 minutes.
Right.
And real. That gives you space to hit every generation.
Every one of them. Seriously.
It's hard to hit every generation with 2 songs. That's difficult to do. If I'm just locked into 2 songs.
True.
Now, before we get out of here, here's what I gotta go back to. To the money piece. Gotta go back to this money piece. Because there's one more bow I want to put on it. Get your thoughts and then we out of here.
Yep.
Okay. Because we talked about, the churches handing out envelopes before, or to musicians that have not demonstrated. So again, when I'm thinking about what the environment should look like now, because we can't take YouTube away.
Right.
We can't take the tutorials away. Here's what I would ask musicians. Particularly if they're like, well, I feel like I'm grinding. I feel like, I'm putting in the time with the music. I feel like I'm putting in the time with my craft. Okay, maybe you are. Here's my question. My question to you is, what is the last thing, whether it be a song, whether it be some movement or concept, what's the last thing you learned that was not connected to a gig?
Wow, that's good.
What's the last thing you sat down and you dug at.
Yeah.
That had no connection with an upcoming gig.
That's good. That's real good. That's real good.
I'll give an example. For me, I bought a DVD series. Shout out to Pretty Simple Music. Guy named Kevin Conley. I think he's out in like the Oklahoma area now. He does a lot of really good tutorials, and it's not so much songs. It's more playing styles. One of the guys he had on that he did a series with plays Hammond with 2 feet.
Okay.
And I mean, not occasionally 2 feet. I mean, like
all the time.
Wow.
Yeah. That's those skills. See, those skills like that, you don't hear about that too much.
So, and I feel I feel challenged.
Yeah.
I feel like I got syndrome sometimes when I try to play pedals with my right foot, particularly the type of movements that this gentleman is doing, where it's like, every now and then you might go to like a high E flat and you might use your right foot.
Yeah.
Instead of, taking it off the pedal and go to high E flat or high F sharp, whatever the case, every now and then. But his movements they're quick.
Yeah.
It's like do.
Yeah. Wow.
They're quick. If you watch Jaden Arnold and some of the tutorials that he's done on other people's page, he's done it too.
Yeah.
But that stuff, I don't have to learn that for a gig.
Right.
Exactly. I don't have to learn that for a gig.
Right.
But I still take some time,
self-development,
once a week to try and get this right foot.
That's right.
Acclimated.
That's right.
So I asked the question again, musicians, no matter what instrument you play, what either song, concept, progress, whatever, what have you learned recently that had or spent time learning that had nothing to do with a gig?
Wow.
Your closing thoughts, Jay.
Yeah, man. It's just as simple, man. You can't build a body without skeleton, and a lot of times you have, like Pell said, these churches, man, that they see something on YouTube and say, I want that. And they forget that there's a skeleton. All three of us have made skeletons through the years to what we are now. None of us woke up one day and it just all happened.
Yep.
Right.
There was years of practice. There were years of rejection.
Yeah.
There were years where you didn't know what you were going to do. Those are the skeletons and the processes that made all of us who we are. And the only reason, and I owe this to God, the only reason why we're sought out the way we are is because of the knowledge and the pressure. None of us fold under pressure. All three of us, none of us fold under pressure. I was watching a young organist, I'm not going to say his name, but the dude did an old hymn, like he was doing Maverick City stuff. Cat was on.
Yeah.
Did an old hymn, lost him.
Yep.
Well-known cat too, but it unfortunately lost him.
Yeah.
And it was cringing to sit back there and watch him die a slow death because he was killing on everything else.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
And you can always tell when you don't know the song. Now the organ get a little quiet. You're still playing.
Yeah.
But now we know you're following and trying to listen, and you don't listen too well because you don't know the music.
Yeah.
And because you never had the skeleton, you've never been in a Baptist church, you've never been in an AME church that forced you to say, hey, listen, you got to play the doxology. See, those chords in the doxology, you have to know.
Oh, yeah.
You can't fake that.
Nope.
But also those chords in the doxology or some of those hymns, they'll help you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you know from the 1 and from the 4 and you don't know those numbers, it's like Chinese to you.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely.
And it was cringy, and I wanted to help so bad. I was just like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
Yep.
Let him take this.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes that's what it takes.
Yeah.
All of us have had a situation where we just had to eat it.
Oh yeah.
Humble pie. Humble pie. I get on why that's bad next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. But to close out, bro, like for real, like you can't build a body without the skeleton. You have to have the bones in order to make things work. Mm-hmm. So that way in the future, you'll be able to see why all that was necessary, man.
Absolutely. So listen, we're going to continue this conversation because I think there's more to be talked about in terms of the development environment of today.
Oh, real quick, Dink.
Go ahead.
Did you get the question from LB Munches?
I did. I was coming to that.
I just responded to that. You are correct. I think maybe when I was talking, I might have generalized. Lack of creativity, meaning production. Thank you for that though, because there is a distinction there. We do see, and that's why you're able to name that.
Yeah.
I think I'll just double down on this. The majority of what we see is production and it's stale. But
and it's strictly timed.
Yeah, it's strictly timed. But then there are others, and maybe you can add in on this. I know we're about to close. If y'all know these two churches he's talking about,
yeah. One of them is Jacob's Church. That's New Zion.
Yeah. Okay.
New Zion Temple is Brandon Jacobs. Yeah. Spirit and Truth is Mark Moore.
Boom. So is it safe to say the leaders are creatives?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
there we go. I think that's where I'm gonna double down on my point.
Yep.
If I was passing the church, we not gonna be staying on straight production. We gotta have creativity.
Right.
Like we don't want the song to sound exactly like it did last week.
Absolutely.
Jay, I want you to take the lead this week and throw me something a little different on the intro or the way we started. We're gonna start this open. Like bass, don't unplug it for the first 2 verses.
Yeah.
Right.
We rocking out on the tambourine, the clap, and the feet.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by creativity. That some churches, and I'm not knocking them, they can't do it.
Right.
They can't do that because people are thrown off. They don't know how to flow with it.
Right.
Because the leader's not doing that. So it's
and I also want to add this, and then we're gonna get out of here. And LB may know this, but I think many people don't know this because Spirit and Truth, Mark Moore's church. So their clips are all over YouTube, and their music department regularly flips songs.
Yeah.
They regularly rearrange old school, even new school stuff.
Nice.
Regularly.
Yeah.
And so a lot of churches have, used their versions of different songs.
Yep.
Got it.
But here's what I want to throw in here. For those of us who have inside information with the people at Spirit and Truth, they have what's called writing sessions.
Nice.
What do I mean by that? Meaning that they have a day where the musicians or the lead musician and the singers, they come in and they're writing in terms of rearranging those songs.
Yep.
Nice.
That does not happen on the fly.
Yep.
But I think a lot of people get that impression.
That's good.
I think a lot of people get that impression that maybe they just come to a rehearsal one day and, we thinking about doing it this way. No. That's not how that happens for the most part with Spirit and Truth. For the most part, they have a separate writing session that's separate from actual rehearsal.
And those are the bones.
So there's your after church.
Those are the bones, bro. But real quick, let me say this. Shout out to those churches that do that, because here's the thing you have to understand. Creatives, especially musicians that are in church, we're worshipers too. And that allows us to worship God in the way that he created us to worship him.
Yes, sir.
We may not always get off the organ or get off the drums or get off the bass, because we're worshiping through our fingers.
Yes.
We're worshiping through our actions. The same way you would lift your hands is the same way we would play and worship at the same time. How do you say that, Jay? I say that because it's not about what you actually are doing. It's the heart. And the posture of the heart is worship, no matter whether you're kneeling, no matter whether you're raising your hand, because everybody can't kneel. Oh my gosh, I'm not trying to preach it. All right. But everybody can't kneel. Everybody can't raise their hands. So for musicians, when we play, that is our time, especially when we are creative. That is us letting God in our spirit, and whatever flows. This is why Spirit and Truth and Jacobs, this is why they're able to do what they do, and it works so well.
Yeah.
And they have musicians and singers that come and they'll sing for free.
Yeah.
For the experience.
Yeah.
Not for the money. Yes, you can have church and have musicians and singers that will come for little or no money if the experience is there. All right, I'm done.
That's good.
Shout out to some watchers that just joined us: BJ Lewis, Vicky Caldwell Fordham,
Vicky,
Dave Johnson. Thank you all for tuning in. Listen, next week we coming at you next week on Tuesday.
Yep.
Look at your neighbor, say Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I had to do it. But yeah, next week we come to you Tuesday, same time, 10 p.m. Same time, same bat channel. So please join us on Tuesday instead of Thursday. Next week we getting out of here. I'm D Brister.
Jay Morris.
Rem Juice, take us out.
All right. These were the
Come on,